Frank was this skinny kid from Vermont who didn't want to be that skinny, but he all the kind of work he was getting was like 6 pages in the back of weird war stories or something, or Doc Samson backup. I think we were the exact same age, except he was living on his own and I lived with my parents, so I had spare money because I didn't have to pay rent. Occasionally, Frank would show me his pencils, and I would help correct the anatomy. Never a figure, never storytelling. I'm taking no credit for Frank Miller's career. I'm just saying that every now and again I would help a little bit with the anatomy. I guess he trusted me enough where when he got the Daredevil gig, he had me do the cover of the first issue, which was I think 161. So Frank and I were friendly, and in the olden days, you had to live in the tri-state New York City area to work because there was not Federal Express, there was not email, so you had to physically hand it in. You didn't want to trust it to the mail. So we all knew each other. We all went to parties together or gatherings together, or a group of people would show up at DC Comics and hang out until Saul Harrison, who I never liked, would say, "What are you doing here?" I said, "I delivered a package. Just get out." Okay. So and with Continuity Associates, I mean, Neil, is one of the greatest comic book artists who ever lived. He really changed everything. He had a studio. It was centrally located, close to DC, close to Marvel. People would come in for a while, leave for a while, and Frank was one of them. And so one day, and you go during the summer, a lot of people used to go up to Marvel for the air conditioning. And I was up there delivering a job, I guess, and I was reading Frank's Daredevils, and Daredevil was great. Frank deserved everything he was given because of that book. And he walked up to me and he went, "Hey, you want to ink this Wolverine miniseries we're doing?" I go, "Yeah." What are you gonna say? It's look. They turn to the people who did The Godfather or Citizen Kane or Gone with the Wind or something and go, "What was it like?" It's a job. We did it. They paid us. We went to lunch. We went home. It's a job. You do it, and you do it because you want to get hired again. You do it correctly because you want to get hired again. You do it because you'd like to have something to be proud of since you spend the vast majority of your life, at least in my case, sitting in a room alone. So I'd rather not be embarrassed when Wolverine came out. But the truth of the matter is, I was embarrassed, and I tried as hard as I could. And it, a professional speed is about 10 days to do a comic book as an inker. I seem to remember the first book took something like 6 weeks because I didn't know what was going on. And I thought what Klaus was doing, Klaus was also Dick Giordano's assistant protege at one point. If, Dick Giordano taught Klaus and me and Terry Austin and Bob Wyachek and Mike DiCarlo. It's a very tedious process to do a comic book. To do a whole 22-page comic book in 3 weeks is a lot of work, which is why they broke it down into an assembly line process. I felt what Klaus was doing over Frank's pencils was absolute perfection. And it was great to read, great to look at. I would read the book twice. I would read it once and then go back and I'd look at it because I didn't want to be distracted by all the wonderful stuff before the story to get in the way. So Frank gave Klaus full pencils, the blacks are in, all the details and all that stuff. He gave me what's called layouts, which means they're a lot rougher. The blacks are not as all indicated. Frank was doing something he was trying to break the Kirby barrier. Jack Kirby could draw an entire 22-page book in 7 days or less. Wow. And it would be great. It would be great, right? It's Jack Kirby. So sometimes some people would challenge themselves and go, "Okay, let me see if I can draw an entire comic book in 7 days." And that's what Frank was doing, but he was doing it in layouts, not full pencil. Consequently, a lot of the choices were made by me. Do I put a black here? Do I put a black there? Do I need more of an effect here? How do I do this? How do I do that? But I would call up Frank 10 times a day. Just when you thought it was safe to pick up the phone, it was me again. It's like panel 4. What's that bottle about? Why did you? Oh, it's just an effect. Oh, okay. Panels 12. Can I do a diagonal? No, it doesn't work there. Okay. So that's how that happened. Now, I did it. The coloring's wrong, by the way, in the cover. If you go to my website on Facebook, you'll see the way it should have been colored because the damn colorist missed the side lighting. So I did it. People liked it. It sold. I had no idea the impact it would have. I didn't realize it was the first comic book my brother ever bought me. It was the first comic book series that got me into Marvel Comics. It's the first comic book I ever really knew who the penciler and artist were. And I've been getting that ever since, and it's great. But I was embarrassed. And then about 25, and you do the polite thing. Thank you. You don't say, you don't know what you're talking about. This stuff stinks. And then 25 years later, I dared to open up the book again, and I looked at it, and I went, oh, this isn't so bad.
Nice.
I mean, it's like I forgot my preconceptions, and I just started to look at it as what it was. Also, I have the privilege of the cover being voted one of the 100 best covers of all time. And recently it was in a show in Seattle, Washington, and it was insured at $350,000, which just proves to you I can't afford me. You know.
6 legs.